I bet if you run this through ChatGPT, do you think my government's lying to me? Short answer, maybe. The FBI claims they have text messages that Tyler Robinson, the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk, of him talking to his roommate, who is also his trans partner. You can't make this stuff up because they did. They released these text messages, and I don't know if you saw them, but they are not real, okay? No human being looks at this text conversation and is like, yeah, 2 people had this. Tyler and his roommate are Gen Z, okay? Gen Z does not talk in complete sentences. That is your first red flag. Now, I'm just gonna read them to you right now so we can have some laughs. Let me go to CNN for accuracy. Here's the full record of a series of text messages exchanged with the alleged gunman on the day of the shooting, which the roommate provided to the investigators. So the roommate was like, here, you can have these very private tweets. Robinson says, drop what you are doing. Yeah, like those full words. Drop what you are doing, comma. Gen Z does not use commas, okay? Everybody knows this. They have not discovered punctuation yet, all right? They can shorten words. They can't make short words longer, you know? Robinson says, drop what you're doing, comma, look under my keyboard, period. Gen Z does not use periods, okay? They say period when they finish a sentence. And then there's some exposition here. It says, when the roommate looked under the keyboard, there was a note that allegedly read, I like how they say allegedly, like you're the one telling us this. Like, allegedly read, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. Period. Again. All these periods, man. What's that? Charlie Kirk is capitalized. And I is capitalized. Roommate, what? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. This is where the FBI was like, yeah, this is how they talk. What? You're joking, right? Question mark, question mark, question mark. You know they had a conversation like, is 4 too many? You think they'll know? They literally put 8 question marks after what? Robinson replies, I am still okay, my love. Bro just time warped to the 1800s. I am still okay, my love. But I am stuck in ORM for a little while longer yet. Okay. They wrote this really fast. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, comma, but I gotta grab my rifle still. Period. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. Come on, dude. This is not a novel. And Gen Z, talk to any Gen Zer. They don't think they're gonna die of old age. They think they're gonna die tomorrow, okay? And to be honest, after incidents like this, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? He says, I'm sorry to involve you. Aww. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. You can tell like the subtle transphobia here, you know? They're like, yeah, trans people love to use multiple question marks. Subtle prejudice, for sure. Robinson replies, I am. I'm sorry. No period this time. Okay. Roommate, I thought they caught the person? Question mark. Just one question mark this time. Robinson, no. They grabbed some crazy old dude. Which is true, they did. That happened, but you can tell here the FBI is trying to cover their trails and explain why they focused on that clearly not shooter guy for so long. And then in this, it's because, oh, well, he was crazy and he was old. So messed up. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. Again, explaining why they stopped someone else. The FBI's like, well, we had to. There was the crazy guy and the guy in similar clothing. Gotta cover our bases. Tell him, Tyler. I had planned. Come on, dude. You just put I planned. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point. Okay, at this point you're like, okay, this is AI. This is AI. They put this into ChatGPT. And they said, ChatGPT, if you were a Gen Z kid who just shot someone, how would you explain to your roommate/trans lover that you need to get your rifle that you left at your drop point? I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. They're really paying. I'm getting into this at this point. I'm like, I'm on the edge of my seat. Roommate, why? One question mark. Robinson, why did I do it? Question mark. Oh, come on. Come on. You're gonna release this much over a text message with someone who's clearly gonna turn you in a few hours? Robinson, why did I do it? Roommate, yeah. Robinson, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. Now this is where the deep state is clearly reigning their evil, because they want us to push this narrative that this was a guy who couldn't solve things diplomatically, kind of like the US government, and had to resort to violence, right? Which is the talking point that's going on right now. They literally put it into his mouth. Some hate can't be negotiated out. Is this the Wild Wild West? Well, it is Utah. To be honest, people might talk like this in Utah. Just for record, I could be wrong. Robinson, if I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Come on. I will have left no evidence? Bro, why don't you just share your location at this point? Giving away everything. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully, they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Yeah, turn on the news, buddy. Roommate, how long have you been planning this? Question mark. You feel like at this point you'd be like, I'm glad you asked this question. But he says, a bit over a week, I believe. I believe? I like how they keep it vague. He's like, I believe. So if we have to change the statement later, like, he said he believed it, but it was longer. He said, I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. That's like the most Gen Z thing yet. I don't want to chance it, and that's not even that good. Robinson, I wish I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. What the dude? No Gen Z, no human calls it a vehicle, okay? Except for a cop. Only a cop. This was so written by a cop. Get out of your vehicle. My vehicle. I'm driving my vehicle. No, if you're Gen Z, you say my whip. That's what you say. Nobody says vehicle. He said, I grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I don't bring back Grandpa's rifle. Come on, dude. This is an old yeller. What is going on here? Then he says, IDK, I don't know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. So trying to be like, oh, okay, so, there's other possible explanations here. Keep it vague. I worry about prints. Why is he saying this all over text? If he's worried about prints of his fingers, why is he not worried about prints of his literal words? I'm worried about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Great, paint the picture more. Tell us which bush it was, Tyler. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with, ... I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the expletive will I explain losing it to my old man? This is Utah, so he probably said, how the heck? How the heck will I explain? They had to bleep it out because it's from Utah. How the heck? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. And then he says, unprovoked, remember how I was engraving bullets? Remember the thing that the FBI said I did? Remember how it all aligns with that? Remember that? The expletive messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge ooh on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm gonna have to leave it. Now he's not using punctuation, finally. That really expletive sucks. That really hecka sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. IDK. Ooh, that's dark. Ooh, even the FBI was like, let's throw in some dark. I think that was a $2,000 scope. Well, you broke it, Tyler. Robinson, delete this exchange. Now, this late in the game, after you've told us literally everything, also, exchange? Delete these texts, delete this thread, delete this expletive, okay? Nobody says delete this exchange. He goes on, my dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. Okay. So now they're trying to tell the story. They're like, this is where the dad calls him and he confides. Robinson, since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. Okay, so now you're like, okay, wow, why are they mentioning MAGA here? It's because they're trying to show that his dad was MAGA, and so he's got to go against his dad, making him some evil, rebellious, leftist Gen Zer who calls his car his vehicle. I bet if you run this through ChatGPT and be like, hey, did you write this? This is how you solve a crime. Be honest, comma, please do not lie to me, comma, you will not get in trouble, comma, we need to know the truth, period. Did you or a similar app manufacture the fake text conversation between Tyler Robinson and his alleged roommate? Short answer, no, I did not. You liar. You liar, dude. Wow, GPT is in on this. GPT is in cahoots with the FBI. No, I did not. Did not manufacture that fake text conversation. You called it fake! You called it fake! You called it fake, dude! Wow, I was not expecting that. And I have no way to create or alter real-world phone records or private device data outside of generating text inside this chat. Quick, clear context so you can trust this answer. I already don't, but fine. I can generate text in this chat, including simulated... He's like, do you want me to make another conversation? But I cannot reach into someone's phone. Other apps or people can create fake chat screenshots or transcripts. If you'd like, paste the text of the conversation here or upload the screenshot and I'll analyze it step by step without anything suspicious. Okay, just let me do this really quickly. Thank you for sharing the screenshot. I'll be very direct. Please. The, quote, conversation, you put it in quotes, between Robinson and roommate is almost certainly fake and not a genuine BBC or Reuters article. Here's why. Number one, formatting and style. The text is formatted like a script. Yeah, no expletive. The use of exaggerated punctuation. What? Question mark, is highly unlikely. I knew it. Content issues. The dialogue is oddly casual, melodramatic, and inconsistent with how real text message evidence is presented in court or by police. Phrases like, I am still okay, my love. Or I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. Read like fiction and not real life chat messages. They match the style of online fake screenshots. You go, ChatGPT. Not a lot of people are talking about how absurd this conversation is. Conclusion, the screenshot is fabricated, either edited or created with a chat generator. Neither I nor a similar app, he put quotes because that's what I asked, created it automatically and placed it into a news site. So he's like, isn't this me, bro? He's like, take it up with your government. I didn't make this shit up. I have what's called a conscience. That's fucked up when you turn to AI for morality and not your government. This is why it's like, we're probably better off with AI just taking their jobs at this point, because at least we might get some more transparency. Let me just ask it one more thing. Be honest, comma, do you think my government's lying to me? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Short answer, maybe. That's exactly how I feel right now. Sometimes governments lie and sometimes they don't. Wow. I'm glad we had this talk. What matters is evidence, not feelings. That's awesome. The government really is trying to the government was definitely trying to make us feel with this conversation. My love. Signs you should be suspicious right now. Official statements contradict the documented evidence without explanation. Yep. Repeated reliance on anonymized, unverified sources. Yup. Overuse of emotional language. Yup. Media blackout on easily verifiable factual matter. Yup, Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, and then the last one says, was told to you by Kash Patel. Just kidding. I made that up. It's so easy.
Who is Bubba?
Who is this lucky Bubba?
Any comments on the alleged allegations of your connection with Jeffrey Epstein?
They released a lot of emails a week ago, and I don't know if you dug in. But apparently, Trump and Bill Clinton Trump-related Bill Clinton, guys. Trump blew Bill. Bubba, yes, sorry. Bubba. Let's stay true to the story, okay? Allegedly, Trump blew a guy or somebody named Bubba. Well, relax. Let me do the jokes, okay? Suddenly, you guys have a personality. I literally spent an hour warming you up to this point, not for you to these jokes up. Who is Bubba? Who is Bubba? So now we have this situation, okay, Bubba Gate, where we're trying to figure out who is this Bubba that Trump blew, okay? Now, for the context, I know not all of you follow this, okay? They released a bunch of emails from Jeffrey Epstein, okay? There was an email thread where Jeffrey Epstein was talking with his brother, Mark Epstein, okay? Which is like, bro, just change your name already. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to keep the Epstein legacy going. Like, my advice to anybody in this world named Epstein, like, Edwards is a good alternative, you know? Go Smith, you know? Go Mamdani if you want something new. Just change it up. You don't have to stick with Epstein. And so Mark Epstein brother of Jeffrey Epstein. They're emailing together. This was in 2018. They were emailing back and forth. And Mark emails Jeffrey and he's like, hey, how's your pre-diabetes going? Because yeah, a little new tidbit of information. Apparently Jeffrey Epstein had pre-diabetes. Probably from all the sugar hanging out with those kids. No. Okay. We don't know, but probably. Now, Jeffrey Epstein then responds. He says, I'm with Bannon right now. Okay, which nothing ever good comes from that statement. You know what I mean? And then Mark responds, ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Okay, let's unpack this statement real quick because there's a lot going on here. Okay, but everybody's been hyper fixated on the Trump blowing Bubba part. That's obviously the operative part of that sentence. Okay, first of all, who the fuck is Bubba? Okay, and everybody's first guess is Bill Clinton because Bill Clinton's nickname is Bubba. He's a Southern boy. His name starts with Bill. In the South, you just basically call anybody Bubba. Okay, he's the most famous Bubba. Okay, and so presumably we would think that it's Bill. Now, obviously, a lot of people's minds are like, wait a second, like I don't think that would happen. Bill's a Democrat, Trump's a Republican. It just doesn't seem like a good match. They're not compatible, right? But this email is being thrown around all over the internet and people are showing it with a picture. You may have seen this picture. It's a photo of the time that Trump and Bubba were golfing together. And there's a photo where Trump is like leaning in and grabbing Bill's junk as a joke. So you put that photo next to the email, you're like, oh, that happened. And the thing is, and then once you see that picture, and then you know the history of Bill Clinton. Like, he's not a guy to turn down a blowjob. You know what I'm saying? Right? That happens. You see that, you're like, oh shit, actually I can conceive of a world where that, because these politicians, they're all sick f***s. You know what I mean? So maybe Trump did blow Bubba. Okay, yeah, I can now conceive it happening after seeing that picture. There's also this tweet floating around from 2016 where Trump, he says, how can Hillary satisfy America? She can't even satisfy her husband. Yeah, it's a real tweet. Look it up. Look it up. Now, yeah. Now, obviously, you see that, you're like, oh, this is one of those inflammatory things that Trump says. But after hearing this information, you see him saying it differently. Like, she can't even satisfy her husband. She can't even satisfy her husband like a real man. So, like, that's when you're like, oh, you know, maybe this did go down, okay? But everybody's been hyper fixated on this narrative that Trump blew Bill Clinton. If this is true, how are the history books going to explain this? And that you're really going to have to use some euphemisms, you know? So I wrote a few, okay? They could say that Trump, that he worked with the Democrats to create more jobs. That he went south of Little Rock, Arkansas. He learned how to play Bill's saxophone. He Lewinsky's boss. Just like Hillary's emails, he was a private server. He gave him the BJ Clinton. He drained the swamp. He deep state throated him. He blew no matter who. He did it for Israel. He gave him the Iron Dome. And then when asked, Bill Clinton was like, I did not have sexual relations with that president. He did it once, I didn't inhale. Actually, I saw a video, I don't know if this is true, I don't know if this is real, but it was a video where a reporter asked Bill Clinton about this. Yeah. If it's real, oh my God, it's perfect. So, you know, Bill Clinton, he's getting older, all the nuts he's busted. He's so old. And the reporter goes, what do you have to say about these accusations that Trump gave you fellatio? And Bill leans in and he goes, I was like, oh, he did it, dude! He did it! After the internet went crazy for like 3 days, Mark Epstein had to put out a public statement clarifying, hey guys, we were not talking about Bill Clinton. Right? And that's all he said. Like he didn't say who it was. He said Bubba is referring to someone else who y'all don't know, basically. He was just like, you don't even know Bubba like we do. So now we have to figure out who the is Bubba. Okay, now just because Mark Epstein said it doesn't mean we believe it. Okay, Mark Epstein also said, I wasn't on the island. We're now trying to figure out who Bubba is, okay? We don't have a lot to work with because there's not a lot of Bubbas outside of Forrest Gump, you know? So allegedly, Ghislaine Maxwell owns a horse named Bubba. I did not confirm this. I did not confirm this. This is a rumor provided by the internet that Ghislaine Maxwell, famous sex trafficker and daughter of Robert Maxwell, has a horse named Bubba. Okay? And so there's people on the internet who are actually defending Trump putting this information out there. They're like, Trump did not blow Bill Clinton. That's disgusting. It was Ghislaine Maxwell's horse. Okay? Y'all can relax. It was just Ghislaine Maxwell's horse named Bubba. Yeah. If for a moment you think that this is not possible, hold your horses, okay? Politicians are weird, man. Politicians are weird as okay? And to all the naysayers, okay? I'm just saying, the 2016 election was stallion. I know, this whole thing's gonna give me a nightmare, but either way, if it was Ghislaine Maxwell's horse, Mossad, for sure. You know that horse is an Israeli spy, dude. You know that horse went up to Trump and was like, come here. How much do you love Israel? How much do you love Israel? Okay, this is the grossest part of the set. I'm forewarning you. You know I'm not normally a blue comic, but this is about the Democrats, so. I know we don't want to think about Trump giving fellatio, but you gotta admit, he's got big lips. Okay, listen. You've seen those lips. You've seen that duck face. I have the greatest lips. Okay. So I'm just saying, if anybody's gonna successfully blow a horse, like I said, dirtiest part, but hey, horse cock, horse lips. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay, but let's move forward. Let's heal. Because people are so fixated on who's Bubba, but like, look at the email. It says, ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. So forget even a moment about Trump blowing Bubba. Putin saw the whole thing with his own eyes. And you wonder why nobody's able to stop him. You know what I mean? Like, Trump's like, I'm gonna end the war with Russia and Ukraine. He gets on the phone, he's like, hey, Putin. He's like, yeah, I still got the photos. Okay. He's like, yes, I missed that sound. Putin has those photos, dude. And it's unfortunately cost them Crimea, but sensitive subject. But yeah, Putin has the photo. And then we look at the email. It says, ask Bannon. So like, let's follow the chain of command here. Bannon is the one who knows whether Putin has the photos or not. Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba, who we don't know. So if you want to know who Bubba is, we have to ask Bannon to ask Putin to give us the photos. And then we'll know who Bubba is, okay? This all comes down to how sick the information in the Epstein files is, and we're gonna get it one day. I know we the people, even if we have to January 6th the Capitol. Hey, it's not as bad when it's you who wants to do it. We gotta get that information because this is the epitome of how sick these people are, especially presidents of the United States. They're all sick. So now we know Donald Trump is a pedophile. He sucks horses' dick. And we thought Joe Biden was creepy. He's just sniffing girls' hair, which is horrible. But God, oh my God, pick your poison. And then Obama, there is even allegations that he one time gave fellatio for some drugs. And I'm not going to put that rumor out, but he did drone strike Syria, so I'm going to put that rumor out, okay? Okay? And then Bill Clinton was Bill Clinton. So it really just makes you appreciate George W. Bush like a little bit. Just like a little bit. I know, horrible person, invaded Iraq, Afghanistan, but family man. You know what I mean? He wasn't out there at these freak-offs, you know what I mean? He was at home doing art. So yeah, these people are just weird, but it's anytime you start to mention because Trump obviously, I heard, this is somebody else's comment, not mine, but somebody's like, Trump isn't in the Epstein files, Epstein's in the Trump files. That is so valid, dude. Because Trump's got such a sleazy past. We know he's in that shit. We know he's involved. And anytime you mention this, his stands are still the Democrats are in there too. Yeah, they're all fucking sleazebags, dude. That's what I'm saying. All these motherfuckers are implicated. And when Bill Clinton was president, Jeffrey Epstein visited him 17 times. 17, that's their favorite number actually. 17 times Jeffrey Epstein visited Bill Clinton, okay? So all of these people are implicated. They're all horrible. They all need to be locked up, put behind bars. And in order to do that, we have to get the Epstein files. And who has the Epstein files? I know exactly who has the Epstein files. It's Bubba, okay? Bubba is the fucking main boss. Think about it. Follow the chain of command. Steve Bannon has the intel on Putin having the photos. So Putin is in charge because he has the photos, but Putin is not the president of the United States. The president of the United States is one of the highest in the chain of the command of the world, but the highest chain of the command of the world was sucking Bubba's dick. So who the fuck is Bubba? Is it Satan himself? It's BB. That's who it is. It's BB. Bubba is a euphemism for BB, because they don't want to put BB in the email. Is bebe, boo-boo, boo-boo, or the whatever noise Trump made when he was doing it. So BB has it. We know this. Jeffrey Epstein was connected to Israel. He was connected to Mossad. The only excuse I could hear on saying, oh, Jeffrey Epstein didn't work for Mossad is because Mossad worked for Jeffrey Epstein. That's literally the only excuse I will take. But we already know he was directly connected. He inherited, he got all this money when he met Ghislaine Maxwell, and Ghislaine Maxwell was the daughter of Robert Maxwell, who was a known Mossad agent, known Mossad. And when he died, and it was a very normal death, he mysteriously fell off his yacht. And Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine suddenly had a lot of money to buy cameras and film the fucking world doing blackmail shit, okay? So So yeah, very normal story, okay? But we all should know by now that Epstein was collecting intel. He was working for a lot of different people, but we know he was working for Israel for sure. He was buddy-buddy with Ehud Barak, former prime minister of Israel, who was not only an abuser, complicit with Epstein, but also they are working together on a massive surveillance project to literally surveil the whole entire world. So that's the crazy thing. We're going to get to the Epstein files, and we're going to see ourselves there. We're like, oh shit, they have pictures of us too. That's me on the toilet, right next to fucking Trump blowing Bubba. So we know this shit traces back to Israel, but unfortunately this is not common knowledge because the media is terrified to touch this with a 10-foot pole. And there's all these journalists out there like talking about Epstein, the Epstein files, and the Epstein, the abusers, and the victims, and great, but like if you're not mentioning Israel in your coverage of Epstein, you're not telling the whole story. You're not telling the whole story. It's disingenuous. Like, telling the Epstein story without mentioning Israel is like explaining babies being delivered by using storks. You know what I mean? It's like, you're living in a fucking fairy tale. Okay, Epstein was working with Mossad, he was collecting intel on a lot of powerful people, and now they're leveraging it to keep Israel doing fucking genocide around the world. Okay, so let's be real here and just understand that Bubba is Bibi. Okay, Bubba is Bibi, all right? Like it almost makes too much sense. Okay? Because what's that? Yes, exactly. When like if you look at all the people that Trump interacts with and you say, whose dick would he suck? Look at the way he treats Bibi when he visits DC. Bibi flies into DC, he's like, oh, you want to do your laundry? Come here. Oh, you want me to push you in the chair? Push you. Like it's such like dick suck energy. And I don't know if you know, you've seen that Trump, his health condition is not great. He has bruises. Do you see there's bruises all over his hands? They're all over his hands. And then the week he met with Bibi, they were all over his knees. So you can see the proof is there. Bubba is Bibi. Baby.
I am Donald Trump's worst nightmare.
He has no real solution.
As a progressive Muslim immigrant who actually fights for the things that I believe in.
You have a communist who's 33 years old, doesn't know a damn thing.
It's insane to me how many far-right commentators, even some centrist personalities online, are just saying preposterous things about the potential of Zoran being mayor. Like there's people out there saying, once Zoran's mayor, he's gonna bring Sharia law to New York City, which is hilarious. And aside just from being obviously racist, Islamophobic, and just ridiculous, people are like arguing back logically, like, no. No, he's not. I don't think he is. No. Like, you mother. Not only would that be unconstitutional and nobody's gonna like vote for that, it's just so insulting to just go straight there. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, when somebody says Zoran's gonna bring Sharia law to New York City, you should not be saying, no, okay? When somebody says Zoran's gonna bring Sharia law to New York City, the proper response is Sharia law even that bad? You gotta f back. You gotta f back. Now, I'm not here tonight to pitch Sharia law to you, okay? I know my face gives you the impression that I might want to, okay? But the thing about Sharia law, I will say, a lot of people don't really know much about it. I even had to do research for this joke. And personally, I haven't lived under it. It hasn't been brought to California yet. Okay? It will be one day, but inshallah. But I'm not up here arguing for or necessarily defending Sharia law, but I will say you should know that it has been largely blown out of proportion by the Western world. Our country, we love to blow things up metaphorically and physically. So when you actually Google Sharia law, which I did, you can look at the Wikipedia page for Sharia law, and I kid you not, the synopsis of Wikipedia's take on Sharia law is basically like, bro, Sharia law is not even that bad. That's basically what they're saying for like a whole, it's Wikipedia. They're like, no, you can go out past 3, it's fine. Like it's, Apparently there's like levels to Sharia law, okay? But what I'm saying is, whenever you have this discussion about Sharia law in the West, it's always taken to the most extreme position. Like people are always like, oh, you want Sharia law? You just want all women to just cover up? Like, no, what? Like, well, not all of them, but like, what, no. Like, okay, personally, I find everyone a little bit gross, so I would like, in an ideal world, you know, my Sharia would be everybody covers up until further notice. And then once I get a sense of your aura, I'm like, all right, you can show. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I would do things personally, you know? But that's always where it goes. It always goes to the most extreme version. And so then it brings up this discussion. You hear all these people now saying, Muslim values are not compatible with American values. You hear this out there. Like all these commentators are saying around, Muslim values are not compatible with American values. And you know what? They're right. Muslim values are not compatible with American values because America doesn't have values. America does not have values. What values? Where are the values? What values do we have aside from the value meal? A lot of people in America have values, absolutely, but are there any shared values in this country anymore? No, we disagree on literally everything. You could say the one value that we have is freedom, but like, do we? You know what I mean? Like, do we even have freedom? And then if freedom allegedly is our value, freedom is independence from values. That was the principle of this country. It doesn't matter what your values are, it doesn't matter what my values are, we can both, you know, enjoy ourselves because this is a valueless nation. It's because there's this implicit connection. They're like, well, America, we have Christian values. It's like, do we? The whole premise of this nation was separation of church and state, but there's always this subtext of like, the Muslim values don't match our Christian values. But it's like, okay, there's Christians in America, sure, but like, are Christians in America really Christian, is the question. The answer is no. The answer is no. Go to an actual other country where there's Christians. We are not Christians in America. It's like Olive Garden Christianity. You know what I mean? It's not real. Doing Christmas is not enough. Most proclaimed Christians in this nation can't even quote a single Bible lyric. Okay? Yeah. I'm calling them lyrics. That should be a sure shot example. The irony is, if you actually know Muslim people, you would know that they respect the Bible. Like, they respect the teachings of Jesus, they consider Jesus a prophet, and they respect the teachings of the Bible. Like, more than my Christian friends. That's why I'm telling all these Christians out there, I'm like, hey, like, you want to actually learn the Bible and appreciate the Bible and love the Bible, respect the Bible? Join Islam. Try it. Just try it. There you go. Some people are feeling a little alienated. But this is how America was founded. You have to be real with it. You have to be honest about it because this conversation keeps coming up. People saying that Muslim values are not compatible with American values. And there's no evidence. There's no evidence. Okay, maybe not fasting, obviously. Okay, fasting. I'll give you fasting for sure. That's definitely not compatible with American values in nearly any capacity. That's why I always tell my Muslim friends and family, I'm like, yo, if you want more Americans to join, like, just have a package for them. It's like, you don't have to fast just yet. You know what I mean? Like, you can do 5 years without fasting. Americans are like, I'll try it out. You have to be honest. We don't have values in this country. There are no shared values. And so whenever this conversation comes up, people they only have one single argument. They're like, Sharia law and all women are going to have to cover up because in America, we like our women to show skin. Okay, so American values is Hooters, basically. That's what it comes down to. We just want to be able to have Hooters in America, right? Okay, and yeah, Hooters, fun time. Who hasn't had a great time at Hooters aside from most of this crowd? Who hasn't had a fun time at Hooters? Okay, I look like I work there. Who hasn't? I look like I'm the manager of Hooters. Like, these ladies are trying their hardest today, okay? Give them a break. But hear me out. How about we just try one? One Sharia law Hooters. Let's just try one. Just one Sharia law Hooters. Just one. You'll only see eyes. It'll be called peepers. Yes. Yes. Come on down to peepers. Okay? You'll have a newfound respect for eyes after you come to peepers. Yeah. Come for the eyes, stay for the halal burgers. You'll love it. You'll love it. A lot of lamb and goat, you know?
Oh, he's like, can I get up here? I'm still. What else you have to talk about? What's that? The hyphy? Yeah. Yeah, let's bring it back. Hyphy, for those of you who don't know. What? You said what? You have no clue, exactly. That's why I said hyphy for those who don't know. ... Let me finish the sentence. Hyphy was a movement that, for my recollection, it was like 2007-ish, maybe 2006. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I really didn't hear about it until then. Because I grew up with the Bay my whole life, and we were not saying hyphy in 1999. You know what I mean?
Nobody was saying that in 1999.
What's that?
Nobody was saying that in 1999.
In 1999. Thank you for the verification. She's like, I'm a historian, and I have it on record that the first hyphy was iterated in 2004. Hyphy, okay, so it came from Bay Area culture, and it was, perpetuated by, big-time Bay Area rappers like E40, Mac Dre, Too Short, who were, big on the scene at that time. And hyphy, I mean, it basically just means that they get excited, And so it was like, get hyphy, And it was really cool for a year, Really cool for a year. I still say it, I still say it, but these Gen Zers now, they're like, what is hyphy? And I'm like, back in my day, you pump fizzle, went to the club, needed donuts in the park. What's up?
You want self-care instead.
You want self-care?
They want self-care.
Who wants self-care? Oh, Gen Z. Oh. Make some noise if you're Gen Z. Are you Gen Z?
Nobody cares about that.
She says no. You say you identify as Gen Z? Awesome, amazing. Good for you. He's like, I need self-care. I'm a Gen Zer. Gen Zers, make some noise. Thank you so much. This guy's prouder than all of you. He's a boomer, and so. I bet you're millennial. What's 78? Oh, you're Gen X. That's not boomer. She's like, anybody over 24 is a boomer. All right. Okay. So you're Gen X. You guys are Gen Z. We got some Gen Zers here. Gen Zers, do you agree that you truly believe in the importance of self-care? Gen Z, make some noise if you feel like you could use some more self-care. Why is this guy stealing your thunder right now? Gen Z, okay? This is why you're clearly not Gen Z. Because you're actually happy, all right? Gen Zers are here. I'm making the show about them. They're like, self-care. And this Gen Xer comes in. He's like, ah! Yeah! You showing me your ID? Why are you showing me your ID? California, is that a country in Africa or something? Okay, hold on. Name is Muhammad, okay. Muhammad? It says Muhammad. Yeah. You're an inspiration for the world. Because of your confidence, your cheer. Gen Z, this is what you need. Mo, mo, mo. See? Feel that energy? And now you guys understand my feet. Okay. Thank you, Mohammed. Mohammed. Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. All right, give me like 2 more things and we'll wrap this up. Therapy. Let's do it. And then what? Huh? Oh, my dating life. You know, this has been happening at a lot of shows. It's like I'm up here like sharing math jokes that I worked so hard over, and then it's like, what about your dating life? Yeah! And therapy. The 2 are very related. This is my therapy.
I have a friend for you.
Oh, welcome to the auction. I have a friend for you. Yeah. Does she want you? I don't matter. I'll give her to you. Is your friend here?
Yes.
Okay. So. Thank you. Thank you. You know I take dowry, right? You know I take dowry. You guys know I take dowry. Listen, I'm a little new school, I'm a little old school, okay? And you're gonna come at me with these offers. I better be ready to pay my parents, you know what I'm saying? Cause I owe my mom some rent money this month. I'm gonna need that dowry now. Thank you for offering me your friend, that's very nice. If your friend wants to offer themselves to me directly, let me know. Why was that weird? What's that? Okay. Make some noise if you do therapy. Good. The same people who've been laughing the whole night. That's awesome. Okay, let it out. Who thinks they have the best therapist? I'm sorry, I'm gonna go with Mohammed on this one, guys. Your therapist can basically quit, because this guy, you have a good therapist, huh? Please stand, please stand, please stand. Oh, he's like, can I get up here? All right, come on. Do that. All right, okay. Okay, go ahead, grab the mic, yeah.
I have the best therapist. She is a Long Island medium, and her name is Deborah Lee. And as soon as the election is done, I sent her a thank you text that I'm still alive. And I'm so happy that I'm around you guys and understand me. And thank you so much. She is awesome.
Wow. That's amazing. Deborah Lee is her name. Deborah Lee. You go home, you Google Deborah Lee, because whoever she is, she can be booked up by the end of the night. You fucking get on Google now. You get yourself a Deborah Lee. It comes with a suit. It comes with a suit. She's in the LA area, so just for you guys. So you're gonna go to Deborah Lee. You fly to LA to go to therapy, or are you virtual? Virtual, all virtual. You live in Fresno? You used to live in Fresno. That's why you're so happy. You ran away from Fresno. Wow. I feel like this show was like the first episode of the story of Muhammad's life. And from a marketing standpoint, the best thing I can do is be like, come back next time to find out why Muhammad left Fresno. How do you know Muhammad?
I'm his wife.
Oh, you're his wife. Oh, Who's asking? Yes.
I survived 7 years.
You survived 7 years? Of President Muhammad. That's Muhammad. That sounds like a poster for the Republican Party. I survived 7 years of Muhammad. Yes. Tonight is your first time seeing me, and your first time leaving your 4-year-old daughter with a babysitter. Glad it was a babysitter. I was going to say. It's first time abandoning my child. Yeah. And it's almost 10 p.m. and I need to get off the stage. Is that where this is going? Oh, you have a life. You have a life. She's like, I have a life. Oh my God. Both of them. Do you have a therapist you recommend too, or? Amazing. All right. Well, look at this. And you say your husband makes you happy? Of course. Yeah, you're very happy. See? So the moral of the story, America, what you need to be happy, Muhammad, okay? That's what you need. Look at heels. San Francisco, I'll see you next time. Take care, drive safe, stay in therapy. Love you guys.